Marfoogle News going live in 3. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We have so many crazy things to talk about tonight, and again, not only just on this short shareable show, but on the next one where we're going to go in depth to the last 48 hours, because a lot's happened. Of course, one of the motorcade on Oris Senet cars got blew up a couple blocks away from the FSB, which again was part of Putin's motorcade. Just days after, of course, you had Zelensky say that he was going to perish soon, and that is a fact. Of course, we have comments from, of course, Hegseth, Trump. We have all sorts of things going on. Secret memos that say that we are going to war with China. I mean, it is obvious that a lot of us in this community had it right from the beginning. But, of course, we have it right. They just won't tell us. Just like they wouldn't tell us about the mafia and the CIA involvement in JFK and all of this other crazy stuff that, everybody knew. But, of course, we just didn't have confirmation. So Iran, Middle East is just absolutely right now on fire, and it is about to pop. Iran's Khamenei warns of strong blow as Trump threatens to drop bombs. Putin is silent on the U.S. ire. Furious comments issued by President Donald over the weekend prompted a swift and aggressive response plan from Iran, while Russian President Vladimir Putin remains tight-lipped in the face of the U.S. leader's ire. Now, by the way, I have not seen any public appearance from Putin since the car explosion. Now, I bet you that car was just a parked car, and the whole reason for that was to make us think like, oh, the first thing that everyone thought when that car exploded, it was an Oris Senet. Again, was that was something that, after Zelensky said that was the first connection everybody made. Mind you that the independent community had that story way before Newsweek, way before all of those. And of course, they all went with sensational headlines after they knew the fact that, this was most likely an Oris Senet, which is basically a small, tiny limousine that Putin has rode in. But they all went with this 12, 15 hours after. We were going off of, video off of X. Video, by the way, X had up there at least 12 hours before any mainstream media. So, I mean, it really is quite crazy how you can get the story way before mainstream media with the regular internet. Again, this was one of these Oris Senets that blew up. So with this being said, I just want to point out, they say he's tight-lipped. He hasn't done any press conferences since. I would say this. It would be crazy, though, if for some reason that was a cover-up and he was taken out for some reason. We know that at night he travels, that, say, if he's this car that was there, it doesn't make too much logical sense for the president to be in where it was at that time. A couple blocks away from FSB, that would actually kind of make sense. And his trip itineraries are now secret. He travels by night a lot, is at least what they've said. And that is because of a fear of assassination. But we don't know if any of that's true, right? But I will say this, until he publicly speaks on video, anything could be, an auto pen signed frickin' comment from the Kremlin. He did say one tiny comment about this and basically says, what we're looking for, we'll probably try to work with you in the future. But Iran, on the other hand, Iran is locked and loaded. Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei issued a warning on Monday and said it would respond decisively and immediately to any threat issued by the U.S. after Trump said that there would be, of course, explosions and likely more tariffs if Tehran does not agree to a nuclear deal with Washington. It says, quote, the enmity of the U.S. and Israel has always been there. They threaten to attack us, which we don't think is very probable. But if they commit any mischief, they will surely receive a strong reciprocal blow. And again, that was the supreme leader. It says, and if they're thinking of causing sedition inside the country, as in past years, the Iranian people themselves will deal with them. If they are thinking of causing sedition inside the country, essentially having people on the inside do all sorts of mischief, right? We know that does happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened too. It's almost like Iran is seeing that, yeah, he's saying they probably won't attack us directly, but they'll probably try to cause some sort of big event, some sort of protest, or somebody sneaks in and takes somebody out, or some sort of thing goes off that's been waiting there for 6 months. Again, they're basically calling what we're probably about to hear. I actually think that the Supreme Leader is right. They've been at this game for a while. At once, Khamenei sought to both downplay the chances of President Trump or Israel taking military actions while also looking to deter such eventuality due to the regime's own policies. He told Fox News Digital, this is the tightrope Khamenei will increasingly be forced to walk as he plays for time and engages in nuclear escalation. U.S. policy should be to keep Khamenei off balance, he added. Of course, that was Behnam Ben Talbou, an Iran expert over on Fox. So talking head. Now, so much craziness has been going on in the Middle East. We're about to show you one of the responses to comments in just 2 seconds. First off, though, I do want to remind you, during crazy tension times like this, people should be complacent, shouldn't be complacent, but you also shouldn't be panicked. I hope that everybody has checked out this. We only have a few days left. There is a giveaway that is only for our audience. We work directly with EMP Shield to get a giveaway going so that those of you that can't afford this crucial protection device that will protect you against EMP and Carrington level events from the sun, that you can have a chance of actually getting one as well. We've done several of these over the past few years. And again, it has actually been really, really great to get, I would say probably 25 or 30 over the previous giveaways, to 25 or 30 people that are protected now. So go to marfuglenews.com/giveaway and enter to win. 5 people will win an EMP shield, which could protect you against any kind of EMP or Carrington level event. They make one for pretty much everything. You can get one for your cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, generators, which are really important, gas and solar, and even your home, which will protect everything within 250 linear feet. Again, they have one of the biggest sales ever. Again, right now, 1 EMP, $20 off, 2 EMPs, $60 off, 3 EMPs, $120 off, and 4, that's the best deal if you pull together with friends. Again, that is $200 off on 4 or more. So go check that out. That stacks on top of our $50 off discount if you go to marfuglenews.com/EMP. If you don't have that, go enter the giveaway, and one lucky winner will actually win $1,000 at the Grid Down store. That is, again, you can get solar panels, a Bug Out XP, one of the best generators on the market. Go check it out. All right, let's bring in my co/internet brother, and it supports our independent channel. Again, you guys know we're up against mountains right now. Let's bring in my co/internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Fugle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So, Iran's missiles loaded into launchers. Do you want to go over that and what the hell is going on here?
Well, yeah, so the Tehran Times, state-controlled Tehran Times, reported that the Iran missiles are now loaded onto launchers in all of the underground missile cities. So we talked about the missile cities. I showed them last week. We put those out in the pictures that they were publishing. But they've said that they're now loaded on the launchers and are ready to launch, even from within the underground locations. So the newspaper issued a stern warning stating that any escalation would come at a heavy cost to the U.S. government and its allies. The chief of the staff of the Iranian Armed Forces also issued a statement warning that any acts of aggression against Iran will be met with a severe response.
Now, this makes me wonder if they are all locked and loaded, they've got this missile city all buzzing and bustling, right? If they are ready to go, are they going to end up doing True Promise 3, their promise to get Israel? They basically have said it's just a matter of time. We are going to respond to their last event. Of course, the 2 previous events from Iran shooting missiles into Israel were absolutely nuts. The first time most everything got taken out by the Arrow system, the Iron Dome, and David's Sling, which is their 3rd system, all very crazy names there. But all those systems took out almost everything. On the second time, there were tons of social media videos and people that finally admitted a lot of those hit. They said, well, you took almost out everything. But they didn't. They had a combination of drones, ballistic missiles, hypersonics, and they all, just flung it their way. These are wars. This Middle East war is going to be a huge thing for us here in the United States and you in Europe, because these guys are now tied in with Russia. They're tied in with China. They're tied in with everybody. So there's a good chance, no matter what country you're in, one of your adversaries is involved with Iran. And then Iran urged to strike Diego Garcia. When Diego Garcia was first mentioned, the UK was renewing their lease. I knew there was something about this. Go back to that video. None of the news about the B-2 bombers, none of that about was there. And I thought there was something weird about this. I even asked you guys, I go, what's the deal? I'm like, what is the angle with this Diego base? The story we covered, which I knew had bigger meaning, the UK was renewing their 99-year lease, and it was just a simple statement like, we're renewing our lease that the UK wants to control this base. That has a lot of strategic importance as far as a war goes. If B-2 bombers are going to the Middle East, they don't go to Guam. That's, if something's going on in Asia. They go to Diego Garcia. Now you have a third of the fleet moving around and of your B-2 bombers, and they are parked over at Diego Garcia. And now Iranian armed forces have called for a preemptive strike on the Diego Garcia military base before America uses it to target the Islamic Republic. Now, they would have to have some pretty good proof and evidence and put it out publicly for them to do this without, having an absolute mess on their hands afterwards. You can't strike U.S. B-2 bombers without a huge response. Dex, if they did a preemptive strike on Diego Garcia, they very well could have shock and awe.
Oh, they certainly would. They just wouldn't have them with the B-2s if they actually took them out. But, I mean, here's the question. Do we think that the technology they have would even make it there, strike and not get taken down by whatever defense systems we may have? It would be interesting to see how that would play out, because we haven't actually seen direct attacks from them, but they certainly didn't infiltrate Israel all that well. They just sent a whole lot of things in the air. They didn't really have a bunch of strategic strikes.
Yeah, and that entire event, everybody still has questions about how everything happened, especially to a country that has the most insane surveillance network in the world. Recently, in the last couple of days, in fact, Israel has been talked about. There is Pegasus, this software that the country is using. I believe we did cover the Pegasus thing, that essentially some of this software is being used to actually monitor inside the USA. It is used to monitor the cartels. I mean, we're talking about software that can essentially listen and hear everything, right? Well, it turns out, and again, I won't say this is fact because I haven't verified it myself, but others have said that Israel has to give permission to whoever ends up using this software. So when a new country or somebody wants to use the software, they have to get permission from them. So think about that in the terms of like, they have to ask permission from them to use this almost everywhere, including here. That to me is pretty crazy. That is the surveillance state right there. We think our CIA and NSA and stuff is bad. Their surveillance is really good, to say the least. We're going to talk about the rest, and in fact, on the next show, which is, again, Pete Hegseth, secret memo talking about war with China. I think the most obvious thing here is literally what's happening. I've been saying this for a long time. People are going to go, oh, you just want to say I told you so. I don't. War with China is not a fun thing. People think it can't happen because probably on their porch there is an Amazon package from China. They think, we're just too tied in. There's too much financially. They don't care about money. They care about future. They care about power. And in the future, it doesn't matter if, you destroy a system you just spent billions to help make, if you can rebuild it and make money off of rebuilding it. So again, and if you then have control of it, that's way more powerful than any amount of money. Again, we'll see you over on the next show over on Marfoogle TV. If you're in the chat, just stay there. You'll be ported over. If you are watching the replay, all you have to do to get that next show is click here. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.
Revolution won't be televised. Bring it back from the city, it'll almost live. Your people private mind, they said one. Bill Nye, the science guy. Revolution won't be televised. Bring it back from the city, it'll almost live. Don't